busy schedule.
I wonder if I've got time to record that list about
transits. What's the moon
and
doing?
you have to just
I gotta eat.
that day
I
around
gotta
all
all day. God,
the
it's
events.
already done. God, it's been a week. Next reading is last
See,
week.
where are you?
Just
Grab
realized
my
now.
water.
Hi,
Hi,
how's
it's
your day
Matilda.
going?
It's so nice
Just
to hear
getting
your
your chart
voice.
up.
Well, this is fun, isn't it?
Isn't it? Third time's the charm.
So it is currently 9:49 on a Saturday morning.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen. And we have recorded this at our usual time earlier in the week.
Yep.
Twice.
Yep. Twice.
We had so many technical problems that Laurie has been unable to upload and fix it, which she discovered whilst I was asleep.
Well, the system didn't upload.
The system didn't
and yet
upload.
the video is there, but I can't edit.
And does it not? You can't even upload the video to take the audio off the video.
No, and we had so many problems with it. There's no way in hell I'm editing that raw.
So I woke up. I had a lie-in this morning because my readings don't start till 12. I don't lie in, do I, Laurie? I'm awake at 6 a.m.
No, you're an early riser. You get the worm.
I get the worm. And this morning I just didn't wake up. And I didn't need to. I didn't have an alarm.
Right.
And I woke up to a phone full of messages. Laurie had sent me one message saying that something had happened and what's my schedule. And my son, who was supposed to be over an hour early, his message to me was, "Are you alive?" He'd spoken to my other son because I hadn't responded.
Right.
And he messaged me and said, "Are you okay?" And my ex-husband had messaged and said, "Are you alive?" So they all thought that I was dead, and they were on their way over here to check that I was.
Were they going to use
okay.
sharp sticks?
To wake me up?
Yeah, poke you first to make sure.
To make me sure. Yeah, just like... You can't disappear, can you, when you've got children that are so used to you being available to them?
Yeah, no, I know. I've had a few of those messages over time.
Yeah. Are you alive? Are you okay? Just imagine if they'd have pulled up and come in and, in miracle had happened and there had been another human in my bed. That would have shocked a lot of them, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? And they'd deserve it.
But yes, I am alive. Poor Laurie has to look at me as if I am just out of bed.
This is where you're in luck and I see like shit. So appearances mean nothing to me.
So there will be no video for
You're
today's
always
episode.
beautiful.
Oh,
So.
Thank you. But I literally have got my pajamas on, which, let's be honest, I make most of my videos in my pajamas anyway.
I was going to say.
Because you only see my head. And we're back at it. How's your week been, Laurie? Busy.
I don't even remember it. I don't even remember it. I went to bed last night at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did not wake up till like 5:30 a.m. this morning.
I just had an awful thought.
Out. What? Did we switch?
Did we switch?
No.
No.
I can't keep that schedule and do everything I do.
No.
Is this like Freaky Friday? It is still Friday here in America.
It's just like, oh God, that's a really horrible thought.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just there's so much incoming energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so you tend to react to energy and you universally, dear listeners, in a way that's contrary to your normal.
Right.
And so with this, it's like a fire hose right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot. And I got one moment of relaxation yesterday. Did not know how tightly strung I was.
Yeah.
And then it was just like all the air out of a balloon.
Yeah.
And just whoosh. So.
No, I totally get that. I went out for dinner last night. Didn't stay late, but came home. I found the restaurant incredibly noisy to the point I couldn't cope.
That's not fun.
And I was with some friends, so we switched seats. So because two friends were talking over me, and they're very, very loud people. And God, it's not their fault. It's me. I'm oversensitive.
Well, I think you're also overpeopled right now.
Yeah, definitely over people. Love my clients, by the way. Absolutely love my clients. But I do get to the point where I'm over peopled because I didn't have a weekend last weekend. I had a visitor all weekend.
Right. Yep.
So, and I think that I'm paying the price now for not having that downtime.
Yep. Introverts need their alone time.
Yeah, we definitely do. But the restaurant there was a few other tables around, but there was a long table of kids having a 13th birthday, kids and adults having a 13th birthday party. And I can deal with noise, but the squealing.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it got to the point where one of my dinner companions actually went over and asked them to tone it down just a little bit because it was to the point that we couldn't hear ourselves.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I had a beautiful meal. I had quinoa and bassa, salad and bassa, which I bought 2/3 of it home because it was such a huge meal.
Right.
So that's my lunch for today.
Oh, I love that. That's very nice.
But yeah, when I got home, I had a soak in a magnesium bath. I have discovered this product in Australia. Shall I give them a plug?
Go for it. You love them. You talk about them all the time.
Yeah, it's called Salt Labs, and they use it's a magnesium-based product. Now, I've used magnesium for years, but they have a salt soak, a magnesium and clay soak, which I use in my bath. I've got a giant bath. It's like going for a swim. And I use it in
Keep bragging.
Yeah, I know. It's what sold me on the house before. Look at the bathroom.
I bet. Yeah, it's like, screw the rest of the house. Yep. How's the bathtub, right?
Basically. And I spray the magnesium oil on the soles of my feet. And I have never slept so well in my life. That's never. Great. And I have struggled to sleep in the last 5 years. I'm up and down a lot. But I'm getting 8, 9. Last night it was 10 hours of sleep because I had a soak in this.
You needed it. Yeah, but it was
lovely. So it's, like you, that's my equivalent of having the air let out of my balloon.
Yeah, just. Oof.
But you slept. You did 11 hours.
I did 11 hours, and I'm not over it. Like a lot of times, if I sleep that long, then I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to be up for another 24 hours because I'll have over rested. No, I'm actually kind of tired right now because we're sitting at, almost 5 p.m. now.
Wow.
My time on a Friday. And so it just kind of reset my clock, which was nice. But I did do a thing today.
Ooh, tell me.
I know you love your Thermomix. It's probably not ever going to be something I want. I could change my mind.
Of course.
But I did get an air fryer because I've been wanting one, so it arrives
Amazing.
tomorrow. Yeah.
They're great.
Because, and this one dehydrates. And I love to dehydrate my own veggies for soups and things, just a quick throw in, So, and I make very good flaxseed crackers.
Oh, you'll have to give me the recipe.
I will do.
Because they're really good for
and then
you.
I'll write it down. Yeah, I used to make a bunch of like really healthy, yummy treats for the kids. And, and I was like, I don't like junk food. And sometimes you want to nibble.
Yep.
And I thought, I really miss my flaxseed crackers. And when I was looking at the different air fryers, it was like, and dehydrate. So I went, oh, yes. So it's a
amazing
purpose thing. Yeah. So it arrives tomorrow. So
exciting.
It is.
I bought another toy as well.
What'd you get? And can we talk about it on the air? Oh,
Yes,
a hair toy.
A hair
Okay,
toy.
great.
Oh, you wouldn't know by looking at me, but I struggle with my hair because it's so curly and it's so thick, and I am sick and tired of wearing it up just because I can't be bothered straightening it, and it takes so long. And you've got to blow dry it, and then you've got to straighten it. And my hair looks great once every 3 weeks when I get it coloured, and the rest of the time it's stuck on top of my head. So I actually purchased it's a steam straightener.
Oh, cool.
And it works beautifully.
That's nice.
I did it yesterday, and it's actually, it needs going over again, but I did it yesterday and it was amazing. It didn't take me as you know, usually it takes me an hour to blow dry my hair, and
Right.
then I've got to put a straightener through it. 45
Right.
minutes, start to finish, with wet hair,
Oh,
straight out the
nice.
shower.
Nice.
So that was my other toy. I actually had to convince myself to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I sent my son to the shop to buy it with a photograph of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'd have gone, oh, maybe not.
Right.
But I got 30% off, so that made it easier.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, the air fryer was on sale too.
Amazing. So what sort did you get?
I have to look.
One that you plug in and dehydrates.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It goes on the counter and it does things. I don't know. It was one of the best sellers on Amazon. So it's it's a Ninja air fryer, Pro 4-in-1 with 5-quart capacity. Air fry, roast, reheat, dehydrate, air crisp technology.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard the Ninja are really good.
Yeah, it had really good ratings. So I'm like, okay. And it was 25% off. So
I bought a cheap air fryer when I first got one.
well, yeah.
And
This one isn't
it's
expensive.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
I may upgrade at some point, but my son was over here the other day. He cooked bacon in my air fryer without putting paper in it.
Oh, no.
It just really annoys me when they do that. Because I don't eat meat.
I know.
So
That was rude.
I know. I'm not going to throw the air fryer out because he cooked bacon. You know, I will wash it, but
Yeah.
I always put baking paper
Right.
in the bottom of an air fryer.
Well, I would anyway. Yeah. I dated somebody who had an air fryer. And I've thought about air fryers ever since. And I did not think about them, but I thought about the air fryer.
I was going to ask.
No, I was so impressed with it. And then I'd be like, yeah, no. And finally I was like, I'm so tired of pots and pans and the same reason you got a Thermomix, right?
Yeah.
But I still like to make a good pot of soup, you know, I enjoy the physicality of it. So it's my way of relaxing, but again, dehydrating stuff, but also just popping something in. And I don't like microwaves.
Well, I use mine all the time, the air fryer, not the microwave. My microwave barely gets used. Like, seriously, it gets used to reheat if I've made a batch of soup or I want something like popcorn, which I don't eat anyway, but I'm just, and it was handy.
I have an air popper for that.
Ah, I do have one in storage. I've got all of these things that I had when the kids were little in storage. But yeah, my air fryer, because I will buy calamari from the freezer section.
Oh, yeah.
Or salt and pepper calamari.
Yeah.
And I'll just pop it in the air fryer and it's a quick snack, or I'll have it with a salad. I don't.
See, I was thinking I'm going to try onions because yeah, I might actually get a little fancy. I might caramelize some onions and then put them in to dehydrate them.
I'm making onion jam today.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah. I love onion jam.
In the Thermomix.
In the Thermomix, yes.
See, now this is it. Where we got a Taurus and a Cancer talking food. That's a shock.
I don't think about what I want to eat at the start of a day, and I never pre-plan meals. I don't tend to at pre-planning meals.
I don't tend to. I go in my mood, unless it's something like I know somebody's coming over, and then I'll think about it for days before I do it.
No, the same thing.
Yeah, but just the day to day, it's like I'll stare and go, I don't know what to eat.
I don't get hungry until I am typical ADD. I don't get hungry
it's too late
until it's too late, and it's like, give me food.
Right?
Thank goodness for eggs, because I have eggs at least once or twice. Well, probably once a week. But since I've had the Thermomix boils the most perfect soft egg. So
nice.
you can
I love
actually
a good
just
soft-boiled egg.
deshell the bottom, scoop it out, and it's like a poached egg on toast.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
So no pots, pans, etc. Anyway, yes.
Very nice.
You get food. Food.
Food,
What
food,
else has been
food.
happening this week? Your magazine came out.
The magazine came out, and then I've got a new thing I do for patrons where I read the articles because they
Amazing.
asked for that. They were like, hey, can we have the articles? So I do that for the magazine tier and up, and I read all the articles, and people go to sleep. They do. They're like, I need to relax. Can you read us stories? And so I was like, sure. So that came out. I did a thing for Patreon. I was a featured person for podcasting. So
Yes.
on how to grow your audience and how to, invite free members, and what we do to grow. And so that was super cool. That was an honor to be chosen to represent.
And you've got an editor now for the magazine.
I do. I have an editor that's what she does. She edits and writes, like for magazines and periodicals.
Amazing.
And she's
be a
very
load off your
good.
mind.
It was amazing to be able to just have the conversation and say, this is what I need. And she just did it. And then occasionally, cause I was running anyway on this cause my schedule got messed up, and she'd get a hold of me and saying, hey, by the way, do you mind if I do this and this and this? I'm like, whatever floats your boat. Yeah. So it was very nice. And we're going to plan out another 6 episodes. I keep saying episodes. I said that last time too, because of the podcast, but 6 issues. So the next 6 months, we're going to get it planned out. I'll have a writing schedule, and look at me being a fancy pants. I met with someone today who's helping me get organized.
Yes.
So when I hire the lady who's going to be my private assistant, I can just say, this is how I'm doing everything. And just, we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
I do want to borrow that, or, get that once you've done it, get a bit of detail.
Once we're done recording, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of what we were looking at today as far as the email inboxes and what have you. And I think you're going to like what you're going to hear, because it's a lot less complex than I thought it was going to be. It was also overwhelming. It was kind of like I was really hungry at that point, and we'd already gone through, it was food again. I was really hungry and had not eaten anything substantial for a few hours. And anyway, she was explaining something a little technical, and my mind went, and hello, Oda. Hello. I don't mind the cuddles. If you're going to be quiet and just snuggle in, that's fine. Oda is the grand dog.
Oda has fear of missing out and has to be here
She
at some point during recording.
Every time. But we're not being loud. We're just cuddling, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's all right, sweetie. I know. I love you too. Thank you. Oh,
that was a bit like when we were trying to do something the other day. Do you remember my mind just glazed over? Trying to edit something.
Oh, that's something we did this week too. We went through our event, What in the World, with Matilda and Laurie, and we went through all the predictions that have already happened. Like, they happened right after we made them.
Yep.
Don't ask us what they are.
We're now trying to edit them into a video to show everyone. But we were pulling them out. I was reading the transcripts. Laurie was finding the video. And we were doing this on a Zoom call. So we were face to face. But it was my time around 6 or 7 o'clock. And I'd already done a full day of reading.
Yep.
And I hadn't eaten. And my mind just, at some point...
The eyes just glazed over. She just was staring. It was the 1,000-yard stare.
I had peopled. And
well, you had too much. Yeah,
I
do too.
Yeah, and I just said, I can't do any more, Laurie. I will try.
No, I was like, that's okay.
But the good thing is next week I actually don't have any readings. That's not a good thing, but that's...
Well, it is. And for listeners, understand, we need time off too. I think everybody does. Like when I put in my venting chamber in the Patreon chat and just went, I am going to go melt into my bed, and sleep until I wake up. And people were like, "Oh my God, are you sick? What's going on?"
Yeah.
And plenty of people got it. They were like, "We wonder how you do all the things you do." And I'm like, willpower. And sometimes I just crash.
And readings energize me. They really do. And I
Me
do
too.
love them. But I have to take, I don't think it's a full week off. It's Monday to Friday. And Monday this week, I'm working the long weekend. This is a long weekend in Australia or Victoria, anywhere, for the King's birthday. And I have Saturday, Sunday booked. Monday, I have the day off. And so I just decided Monday's usually a work day, so I've got a full 5 days to get my ducks in a row.
Yep.
Because I feel like I have been chasing my tail for months.
Yep.
There's a lot of video editing to do. I've just taken on a researcher to be able to find my predictions in all of my videos and find the proof so that we can start making videos together. I just need someone that can do video making well, because it's not my forte.
I am a very self-taught person.
I can do it. It's time consuming.
And even if you're good at it, it's time consuming. Yes. Like even Oda, please. She's demanding butt scratches.
I demand butt scratches all the time. What's your problem? I
tried to stop. Go, wiggle your butt too. You are an Aussie. Get him off the stage. Boo. Oh no. It's even if you're really good at it, it's time consuming. And that's why, like, for the audio edits, I don't mind, because I have enough software and tools. I can get it done a lot faster. But if I were to manually pull that audio and go through the audio file, it would be so laborious. So
no, it is. It's very laborious, and a lot of stuff that we do that's front facing. People don't understand the time and energy and effort that go into that to prepare it. And I'm trying to bank some content for when I go into hospital.
Yep.
Because I'm going to be flat on my back for at least 4 weeks.
Yep.
So
yeah, and I've got to start putting my attention on getting my slide deck done for the 22nd. So, because the year ahead, where I go month by month, and I have to look at 1 million charts for each month, and then make a summation about it all for each month.
Joy. No, and I'm getting my stuff together for the 22nd. It's nowhere near as much as yours. Because mine's
still stuff, though.
It's still stuff. But you know what? We do it because we love it.
We do. It's not a complaint, by the way, listeners, but we're just letting you know. Yeah, it's like this stuff isn't like wave a magic wand, add water, whatever. It's not done in a Thermomix.
Oh, she had to get that one in, didn't she?
Thermomix, you need to sponsor Matilda.
Absolutely. Thermomix or Salt Labs, please.
There you go.
But yes, during my week off, I get my hair done, which is my equivalent of butt scratches, because you get the head massage. I
have to do that. I'm hoping to find a hairdresser. I need to get my hair cut. So we'll have to find you a hairdresser local to you. Yeah, I'll start looking. Because there was one. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe they're still in the van life and they can come via you to cut their hair.
They're very far away, unfortunately. They're nowhere near that one.
Very sad.
I am so sad because he's wonderful. But there was another one that should do a decent job. Since the hair is already cut, they can go in. The layers haven't grown out so much they can't see what was already done. So
I get my hair done every 3 weeks. I used to so grey and so dark that I get my hair done every 3 weeks.
I used to do it on principle. I used to
Really?
that, and then I lost my freaking hairdresser, and it's such a pain in the ass to start with a new one.
Yeah.
And I sampled a few other people, and I was like, because my hair's not easy to do.
No, mine
It's so
isn't easy to
straight
do.
and so fine. We have the opposite problem.
We do have the
but
opposite problem.
but it's both, So starting over, I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you
get
about the
my nails
time
done,
that I had a visitor when I dyed my own hair?
No. Tell me about it.
Well, I've had two terrible things happen when I've dyed my own hair. One time I ended up in hospital because I got hair dye in my good eye and was completely blind.
God.
And I phoned my son. Thank God I've got Siri, which was just literally, and my son had to come and get me, take me into the hospital. And I said, I am blind in my right eye and I have hair dye in my left eye. I can't see. They literally got me in. They had to check the pH of the eye and it was really, really high. So they put an anesthetic in my eye and just ran 2 big bags of saline through to wash it out.
Wow.
So yeah, that was fun.
That would be so scary.
It's the second time I've done something to that eye. The other time I did it was 30 years ago. Do you remember those balls you used to get to put washing liquid in?
Oh, yeah.
You had them.
Yeah.
Never throw into the washing machine if there's not clothes in there already.
Oh,
I threw it
God.
in and it bounced back straight into my eye.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. These are all not fun to explain.
No, not fun to explain. And they make you completely blind because
Jesus.
you've sort of only got one eye. Now I wear glasses when I do anything around the house. That could be the slightest bit dangerous. And the other, so that happened. That was 30 years ago. It was before I had kids and I was stupider. But 5-6 years ago, I was living in Melbourne and I had a younger friend. I'll just explain him as that. He was a younger friend. He was a very tall, younger friend. And he was coming over. He sent me a message saying, I'm bringing dinner and a bottle of wine over. And I've gone into, better get in the shower. Got in the shower and I realised that I had that skunk streak at the top of my head. So I used the L'Oreal spray. You know, the spray-on one that, didn't dry it. And we had a great evening. And in the morning when I saw him out, he gave me a very weird look. And I've turned around and gone back to the bedroom and it was as if a coal miner had rolled around on my beautiful white cotton bed.
Oh, great.
Not only that, I had black handprints all over me.
God, that's great. Handprints,
nice
nice
story. Just from one of those spray-on.
That's great.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this was fun, and this one was fun, and ooh la la, that was great.
Yeah, there was. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I
that's
got
funny.
lucky with
Back
somebody
to
that
only-
comes straight out the pit.
OnlyFans. We're back to OnlyFans.
OnlyFans again. Yes.
We're missing our calling.
Oh, we are definitely. Well, I sent you feet pics this week.
You did. You did. I didn't
of mine,
resell
not of
them,
me.
though. I did not resell them. They're safe with me.
They were my son's feet, who has decided to get tattoos on his big toes.
They're hilarious.
One is of a camel, which is a camel toe, and the other one is a star.
That one took me a second.
Yeah, it took me a second too. Dear listeners, it is a toaster. Yeah, he's talking about getting a nail as well, so we'll see.
That is so funny. Oh my God.
He's not funny.
Yeah.
He's not. He thinks he is.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. It is very funny, very clever, but Oh my God. I hate the fact that he got tattoos. Like, he's got a whole arm tattoo.
I know.
How dare you deface the
I
body that I
know.
created?
I know. My daughter did it too. And she's got this flawless, like you can't, she has no pores. Like she's got this beautiful skin. And she wanted one for her 18th. And since I could not stop her, I also did not want her going with her best friend's mom, whose judgment was questionable in my on my side of things. And so I just didn't want her going to some skanky tattoo parlor on a wharf somewhere, because that's where it would have been. And I'm like, I've seen that woman's tramp stamp.
Yeah.
But and she had designed it herself. And I was trying to talk her out of it, not because I'm against tattoos in general, but I was like, it's a really permanent decision. You have really beautiful skin. You're really young. Have you decided? And she's like, Mom, it's in memory of Dad. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay. So I hired the person. It was a really neat way it came around, and they actually came to
Meant to
us. Yeah, it was meant to be, and she was lovely and very hygienic, and that was my worry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the hygiene worries me.
So, and especially, again, I'm like, I don't want you to get an infection. Again, you're beautiful and you're perfect. But I understood, and it's a very pretty, and it was done, the lady made sure it was positioned in such a way that it was very, very tasteful. So like it wasn't going to be super obvious, because she was really young.
Where has she got it?
On her back. It's an 18 inches on somebody who had no body fat. So this went down her back across ribs, and so,
Ow.
And I could not be anywhere around when it was going on. I had to walk away. But when she was done, the women looked at me and she went, holy shit, she's tough. I've had huge men break down and cry like babies getting tattoos placed like that. And she's like, she whimpered once. And I was like, that's my kid. So
that's what I've got, which is just 2 hearts, one for each boy. And I wanted it somewhere visible. I didn't want it hidden. But Charlie had his tattoo drawn and planned out, ready for his 18th birthday, similar to your daughter. And he put a lot of thought into it. It's very beautiful, though. It's he's got like a whole tree on his arm with a big owl with its arms around the little owl, and that depicts him with his big brother.
Oh, that's sweet.
And the eyes
really
are the colour of their birthstones.
Oh.
And then as you go up the tree, it's got a shamrock for me, the Union Jack for where I grew up, the wattle, and the silver fern for his dad.
Oh, that's really thoughtful.
It's a lot of thought for an 18-year-old to design that. And then he gets friggin' camels and stars on his toes.
I don't know. That's pretty damn funny, though.
Yeah, it is funny. And he does have the adrenaline sign on his ankle as well. The symbol for adrenaline. My child. And he's as pale as pale. His choice.
It's funny, though. But yeah, so brain tired.
Brain tired.
Brain tired brain. But we had quite a few good things happen this week, though, too. None of it was bad, to be honest. It was
just tiring, but we also got delayed because there was a very exciting thing that happened last Thursday.
That's right. Let's crow about that.
Crow. Yeah. I had said that he was going to be, you'd said he was going to be guilty. I said that he was going to be guilty. I saw the announcement coming out late in the day, but I had said Friday, but it was my Friday.
It was your Friday.
Yeah. And I'd said, I thought half. I really thought that they would find something that they couldn't
I think that'll happen on appeal because I was shocked that he got all 34 counts as well.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. But then we didn't hear all the testimony either, so we don't know.
No, it's very, very telling. He hasn't dealt well, has he? Did they?
He got more bad news, which, by the way, was in my predictions for the 7th through the 9th that Trump would get bad news, but he got more bad news today. The judge he really wanted gone, and Fannie Willis he really wanted gone. They both won their elections. They won their elections today.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I thought that, but I didn't. I've only just woken up, so I haven't checked the news or anything.
Yeah, it came out earlier today because somebody. Yeah,
he's not going to have fun because I think Cannon's going as well.
There was something about that, and I haven't heard. Like, I don't know exactly what it was. I have to go look up. Something is going on with her because somebody mentioned it on a TikTok, but I was like, I don't want to listen to it right now. So I just moved on. But yeah, and his transits for the 11th of July really suck. And the Supreme Court ruling will come out this month. So they're not going to find him immune. They're not going to give. Can't. Because then they have to give Biden immunity for anything. Yeah. So Biden could go shoot him in the head, and then they'd have to be like, well, he was president. So
how we keep saying that, there's cloudiness around the election. Maybe that's the scenario that neither of us are picking up.
Actually, I did have a little flash of a thought of that about a month and a half ago. And it was a really funny thought because I was like, well, what if they find him immune? And then I was like, I had a picture, it flashed in my head of Biden and Trump at a debate and Biden going to debate this motherfucker. Yeah. And I started laughing and I was like, it's not going to happen.
There's been clips on social media of Trump being interviewed by Dr. Phil. Is that real?
It's real. It's real. I got somebody either tagged me in a video or put a comment on my TikTok. And they were like, this is all crazy. And I'm like, it's not a big surprise. Dr. Phil is a cuckoo for coconuts person. I know people liked him at one point because Oprah put him out there. I'm like, but have you guys not realized a lot of these celebrity people don't have your best interests at heart?
He's an attention seeking. Yeah, he gives me the ick. I have to. There's certain people that I look at, and I get the immediate. Ooh, I don't like you.
I don't like men who tell people how to feel. And I don't think being a therapist or of any kind or a counselor, which he hasn't been in a very long time, he doesn't have a license to do so, and hasn't in a long time. Being a counselor or a therapist does not give you the right to impose how one emotes at all.
Yeah, but he's not teaching anyone anything.
No.
Because he's telling people.
Yeah.
A counselor needs to teach, needs to educate, needs to enhance.
Provoke thought.
Yeah.
Be like, and, although, his phrase is, how's that working for you? That's a good counseling question. So how is that working for you? There's a good one. But saying, well, you should be angry or whatever. Oh, that's horrible. It's terrible.
I am very disappointed in Dr. Phil for partaking in
for the
such.
15th million times. But yeah.
He's just, he'll go for the high.
It's probably because through producers or what have you. It's probably because of the television industry. Because look at that Dr. Oz thing that happened, although Fetterman isn't all over. But
is Dr. Phil a Republican?
He might be. I don't know.
Is he a trumpet? Has he watched it? Do you know if it's...
I pay no attention to celebrities, pop culture. I have not paid attention, briefly as a teenager. And the only reason I was up to date on anything 15, 20 years ago was because of my children.
No, I don't really pay a huge amount of attention as a teenager.
So I don't know.
Unless it was Wham or Duran Duran, I wasn't interested.
Right. There were certain, but I tried it briefly. I'm not a pop culture person. Not putting it down. It's just not my thing. It's not, I don't watch television much. I don't. especially in the last 15, 20 years, it's like literally when I'm not at my desk, I sit in silence, Matilda.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy.
No, I love silence. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a.
So I don't know. I rely on my fans
Mhm.
to tell me. And then I go look people up. Like, and again, I'll know certain people, but I don't know. I would guess he probably is a Republican.
No, I was wondering how
But-
one-eyed the interview was. I'm not going to watch it because I'll projectile vomit over my phone, and I don't.
No,
really
I
want
think
to do
it's a
that.
deal from when Trump was on TV. I bet it's producer to producer and they struck a deal or something.
Right. Okay.
That's all. It was for ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt there's a whole lot of belief in any of it. Trump doesn't believe what he says he believes.
Trump. We'll see. I've had a couple of comments going, but you said he was going to get sick. Patience.
He is sick.
Patience.
His own executives were discussing this after the guilty verdict, saying he is not a well man.
Yeah, he's not a well
And I'm
man.
like, no shit.
Just because
He
you can't
hasn't.
see it. Look, Biden's not a well man.
No.
Neither of them are particularly healthy human beings, but they're
Still
both
don't know how Biden's
aged.
alive.
Do you know, sometimes I watch him and it reminds me a little bit of when they used to roll out Prince Philip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, it's almost as if he's stuffed with something and they're lifting his arm up to wave. Yeah. New blood needs to come into the American political system. I am not attached to anything that goes on there, but I do not understand. Well, when Biden pops his clogs, at least you've got Kamala.
Yeah. And she's most likely to, like of everybody on the stage, she's got the transits for it for 2025. She has an extraordinarily difficult fall. So,
see, but I think that's all linked to everything that we have seen already
Yep.
that is happening around
Yep.
that time.
Yep.
And
I know there's people who like or don't like, but guess what? We're not going to like people.
not
and
everyone's
everybody
gonna
ha-
like everyone.
No, but I'll settle for sheer incompetency over senility. And everybody has a right, like, to run for office and be incompetent. So
Yeah.
I stand by that. Like, we haven't had a competent person in so long. And no, it's been since before the 90s.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of shite. So we'll see.
has been.
Since before the 80s.
What other exciting things have happened this week? Because it has been incredibly busy, and I felt like I have been running a marathon every day.
Well, we had the new moon in Gemini, and it was Cazimi Venus.
What's a Cazimi? Because
It's a really cool world. Right. It's a really cool word that people like to grab onto and think they know what it means. But what all it means is when a planet is Cazimi, it means it's within 1 degree of the sun.
Okay.
Now, in the Middle Ages, they liked it to be actually only 15 or 16 minutes away. And every degree has 60 minutes. Okay. 0 to 59. So, but it's considered being in the heart of the sun.
I didn't know that.
Most people do not. Most people do not. And I say 0 to 59 because most people start counting with 1, but we actually start counting with 0.
Okay.
And that's where math changed in the 10th century. I will stop the boredom on that one, but it's very exciting and important. And to our understanding, it's very metaphysical, It proved a lot of Pythagoras' theorems, because he as cool as Pythagoras was he was a mystic. Most people only think of him as a mathematician, but math is magic. And when you actually study Pythagoras, it's actually magic. And so okay, I'll stop. Matilda's like giving me this look like, shut the fuck up. But yeah. So anyway. You're like, what the fuck is she on?
I picked up a Quickies to eat.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
keeping my mouth shut.
Quickies. So we're back to OnlyFans again.
the spicy
But anyway,
tears.
so with the with Venus conjunct the sign that close, so they're right next to each other. That means Venus is in the heart of the sun, and they kind of like think of melding for superpowers. So this new moon and all new moons, you don't even have to be an astrologer to know this, because it's not actually about astrology. This would be more like traditional folkcraft. Some people consider it witchcraft, but it's folkcraft. New moons are for setting intentions. You plant your seeds in the new moon. You set your intentions in a new moon. This was a really good one to do it. These is like the, there's better times of the year to plant certain seeds, right?
Yeah.
This one, guess what? If you were planting seeds, they're all going to germinate. So,
Okay.
and your seeds are your intentions. So, this one was a really nice one for that. So thoughts were very, very strong in this one. And so I was instructing my people to, use your thoughts for good for yourself. This is not the time to have stinking thinking. You need to reframe some things. And somebody on my TikTok was like, well, I don't even know what to ask for. I said, then intend clarity comes.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Clarity is important. Everybody thinks they have to want a specific thing. But with this Gemini energy going on right now, especially with Jupiter and Gemini for the next year, you don't have to have all the answers. You can ask to have better questions.
Well, that's actually a really good way of putting it, because I spoke to somebody yesterday that was struggling with finding a passion.
Mm-hmm.
A passion, not passion, a passion.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it.
And they just didn't know what they wanted to do, what they wanted to do for work, all of those things. So that's actually a really good way to frame it. Because, some people don't grow up to know what they want to do.
I never resonated with the word passion. Like, follow your passion. I was like, I like a lot of things. What are you talking about? I'm good at a lot of things, So for me, it was, what enlivens you?
I have zero passions. My work has always been my passion.
Well, and that's it. But I don't consider it my passion. It's like my obsession. But when I think of passion, I think of it differently. Like, words mean different things to different people.
They
know
do.
What I mean?
Yeah, I think that I am so focused. I like what I do, but I also like the cogs and wheels that go along with what I do.
Same.
Because as we've said earlier in the episode, it takes a lot to do what we do. It's not just about picking up the phone or clicking a Zoom link to do a reading. Yeah. There's all sorts of things that go behind that. And
like this.
But and there's a lot of people that don't know how to work a business.
Yeah, it's not enough. In fact, I was telling that to some of my students in the astrology crew in my Patreon. I was like, it's not enough to have the information. You have to know how to apply it. And, knowing about astrology is not going to teach you how to run a business.
No. Being a medium is not going to teach you how to run a business.
No one taught
sometimes, me. I find it a little bit harder sometimes to actually run a business, given what I do, because I am so working in the clouds 3-4 days a week that bringing myself down to earth and doing the nuts and bolts of a business sometimes it's the last thing I want to do, but also I can't always concentrate on it. Thus, that once a month I take those 4 days, 5 days where I actually have no interruptions of readings. I can get my head down. We're going to plan the recording of the next episode and maybe try and do a few of them and get ahead.
We're going to try to bank some.
We're going to try and bank some.
Yeah.
Because both of our schedules are absolutely redonkulous.
Yeah. We're just both really busy. So, and
this is a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. I've had planning sessions throughout the week with my producer, with my assistant. For now, my editor and I will, because I have somebody assisting me to get ready to have the assistant come in and getting automation set up. I'm even doing some rebranding. Yeah. Making sure, like, there are things I didn't know I could do with the tools I already possess.
Yep. And I'm excited to hear that. So
you're going to love that. We'll talk about
your
that
girl
after
that's
the
helping
recording.
you is going to
be. She's amazing too.
Fantastic.
And we tried to do this last year. This is why I actually got back in touch with her, because we were going to do this, and life got crazy. It just got absolutely bonkers and nuts, and so I missed an email that was really, really important. Right. And that's when I went, and I'm sure I was forgiven and everything was okay, but I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And so I got a hold of her. I'm like, are you still open to do these things? I know you have your own business and your own life, but hey, if you're open to doing this with me, I would be really grateful. And they were like, yes. So
yeah, I get so many emails and people sending me messages. I don't read my messages on TikTok. They're not open if you are not.
Yeah, same. If you're not a mutual, I don't. Yeah. It's not there.
And people messaging me on Instagram. My email address is out there. I have a website. Message me. I don't even check
those emails. Like, if I see somebody, like, because 90% of the time, and listeners, I want you to take this to heart. I love y'all, but do not contact me about readings in the email. There's a contact form on my website. Yes. All of the readings have descriptions. All of them have prices.
And the website is pretty self-explanatory.
I have an FAQ.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know what else to tell you, or ask for free readings, because I don't do them. Did
I tell you about somebody approached me about a free reading last year? So this is quite funny. It was a fellow metaphysician. I did not know her. She sent me an email saying, how do you feel about giving me a free reading? Because I have written this book and I can send you a copy of the book.
Wow.
That
is very gutsy.
But I get lots of requests for free readings and a lot of sob stories, which is why I have an assistant running interference, because I do not need the energy of all the sob stories. It is, I feel, obviously I do, like, I offer free readings for people that have lost a child under the age of 18 years old. Okay?
That's a very nice service.
And I do missing people work for free. But I cannot take these, and they don't want to book a reading for free. They want me to answer their question in an email. Anyway, this woman sent me a request and I declined the offer. And what she did was book what at the time was my cheapest reading. I used to offer 10 events, which are, and it says on the website, these are random events. They are there to prove that spirit exists. It's things like you will see a pink giraffe on a Sunday, really kooky ones. They have no life, knowledge, experience. They're not going to answer any questions for you. They are just weird and wacky, and people love them. Like, when I release them, they get booked out really quickly.
How fun.
Yeah. $50, which is nothing. She booked this.
And let me say, Australian bucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
She booked it when I sent the reading, which was 2 months later, because there's a wait for them, and I always have a wait. You can do better than this. I wanted an answer on how well my book was going to do. This is disgusting. I know you can do better than this. And I went back and said, this is the reading that you booked. This was a fellow metaphysician who should have known better. I was
fellow metaphysician is called business karma also. There's a huge difference between somebody just getting started, they're using a grocery budget to buy a URL or whatever, and somebody who actually has a business, they're a service provider, they have a brick and mortar, they're writing a book, they want to make money, and they're wanting to make 6 figures or more.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we all may want to make 6 figures or more, but there's a huge difference between somebody just, just getting started. They just got their certificate. They don't have a lot of funding, right? And somebody, again, wants to sell a house or property and make significant earnings on that.
Yeah.
You want to make money, you have to be willing to spend it. You don't ever talk about, how people bitch about fees and stuff too.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of that. I get other metaphysicians.
I don't get
young,
that. But yeah.
They're young. They're starting out. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that when people do, I have never had, I think I've had one complaint about a psychic reading. Other than that, I'm a fucking good medium. And I had somebody say, I can't believe you make people pay that. Actually, it's not that much because I charge in Australian dollars.
Yeah.
You want discounts, you go and pop on to my Patreon and there's a discount code.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and, you have results and that's
I have
same
results.
Here. Yeah, same.
But this woman actually said, I never go out. My husband does all the shopping and I never leave my house. Why would you want a 10 event reading with predictions if you never leave your house?
Yeah. And so I think people can claim to be whatever they want to be. We can call ourselves kazoos.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to start saying that I'm a cat.
It works. But you can't, the demands. So that's one of the reasons I honestly don't check my email. Because when I see shit like that, I had a guy get a hold of me wanting to be on my podcast who wrote a book and just while telling me he didn't like how I did my astrology. And I'm like, I didn't even respond.
He wasn't English, was he?
No.
I get requests all the time to come on my podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm like, none of them really gel with me. I'm invite only. I will. Only. And it depends on what my topics are as to who. I'm not going to get somebody on the podcast just for the sake of it. But I will every week. Only. I get half a dozen of them. Yeah. But now that my assistant,
speaking of English, I tend to get along better with a lot of English astrologers. I'm going to have one on my podcast, but I invited them.
Yeah. You at the event at the conference that you went to whilst you were over there
at Royal Albert Hall.
Oh.
We have to add that in because it was posh.
It was posh. Posh. She went to a posh event at the Royal Albert Hall where she watched astrologers talk.
And talked with astrologers.
Which is amazing.
Port out, starboard home, posh is the life for me.
She's always got to sing.
I do.
Only because she's got a much better voice than I have. I did not get the voice.
I was a singer.
But, yeah, so I get a lot of requests to come on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do invite only. And sometimes people respond and sometimes they don't. And I'm okay with that.
Same. One of the reasons I'm invite only is because we have such good listeners on both of our audiences that people really trust people I have on. And so I'm not going to suggest people I don't vibe with. So
no. And that's if I am going to give a recommendation or trust somebody to come onto my podcast, they have to be somebody that I will trust with my audience as well. And that's an important thing.
Yep. It's like the Better Homes and Gardens seal of approval.
Absolutely. Because we've got a good audience. Like both, absolutely. We have separate audience, but combined we have a good audience too.
Yeah. Yep. We have crossover and then separate, but they're good folks. And so yeah, we're never bitching about you guys.
But there's a lot of needy people out there that I call them ask-nots because they ask for advice. They don't want to pay. They don't want to book a reading. They just want to send an email and trauma dump. I have a lot of people that trauma dump on me.
Yeah.
So that's why I have an assistant run interference. And I'm hoping, because I had my assistant here training her last weekend, and then she went home and she's sick. So she was sick while she was here, and she got sicker when she got home. So I'm hoping that she'll be better.
Yeah. I hope she gets better.
It's a virus. It's a virus cough, head cough. It's winter here.
Yeah. And it's super cold, right?
Yes, it is super cold. I think it was like 4 degrees overnight.
That's Celsius Americans.
Yes, I don't know what that is in America.
It's just above freezing, so it's in the 30s. So it's probably like 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Okay.
maybe 36. I don't. Ballpark figure. But,
Well, it was very cold, and I, as we've already discovered, slept very, very well.
you did. So you were warm and cozy.
I was warm and cozy, and I had to get up. I'm actually surprised I slept because I don't drink soft drink ever. And I had 2 Diet Cokes that were the size of buckets whilst I was out last night because I really wanted a gin and tonic, but I had to drive.
Right.
And I don't do country road driving at night very well. It's dodge the kangaroo.
That would be something. I mean, we have deer that
fun.
we have to dodge here. Yeah, but kangaroos would be it'd be like trying to dodge an antelope.
They will bounce over the car, but when you hit them, it's awful.
Oh,
awful,
it's got to be terrible.
Awful when you hit
Because they're
them.
big.
Well, they're big. They damage the car, but if you kill a kangaroo, you then have to make sure that they don't have a baby.
Oh, right.
So the
pouch,
wildlife people have to come out and check to see if there's a baby.
Oh.
It's horrific. I've never experienced it. Touch wood.
Yeah,
But
we're going to pull a bubble.
But they do jump in front of us quite a lot. And I've seen one in the middle of our. I live in a town, and it was like just bouncing along across the the roundabout.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Talking of which, would you like my Australian saying for the week?
Oh, yes.
This week it is a few kangaroos short in the top paddock. And
I like that one.
Which just basically means that somebody's a little bit cray-cray.
I like that.
So
A few kangaroos short in the back paddock. Right? Interesting.
So we've had I'm not here to put shoes on centipedes.
Right. Yeah.
Not here to fuck spiders.
I love that one.
Dumb as dog shit.
Yep. I love that one.
I think that's it. That's all we've covered so far, isn't it?
That is. You have to go ask for more. You have to go collect more for me.
I have to go collect more from my osteopath because he's the one that feeds me the sayings.
Those are brilliant. Mm-hmm. They are. So we have deer and in some places antelope, and they're very big and they jump. And oh my God, I had to think about with a car. So I had a stick shift, let's put it this way. So it was before 2004.
Right.
And I was going very slowly up a very steep hill because I did not shift my gears in time. And so I was crawling up this hill, and it was late at night. I was coming home from an event, and it was a big full moon. It was winter, and this stag was getting ready to cross the road, and he was huge. He had like 10 points. He was like Bambi's daddy. Okay.
Wow.
And it was a Hyundai sedan. Okay. It was just a little family 4-door. It was not a big car. And this freaking stag jumped and cleared the top of my car. And I'm still going, but I'm going very, very slowly. I cannot stop. It's a freaking hill. And I couldn't hit him even if I stopped. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so I just prayed for all I was worth that I'm like, clear my car. Because if he went through the windscreen, I'm toast.
Yeah.
You know, and he was huge. And I think I was like, okay, I'm going to take this as a sign because he cleared it. And he was he didn't even bat an eye. It was one of the most magnificent things I've ever experienced. I'm not going to lie. I may have peed my pants a little, but, cause it was like, oh shit. Absolutely stunning. And, I took it as a sign. I was like, cause I was a little frustrated at that time. But I was like, if a stag clears your car, it has to be a good sign.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. That's, I just, the country roads here are so twisty and turny that they just come. So
they come out of nowhere.
They come out of nowhere.
Same.
And especially it's dusk or dawn.
Oh, really? Yeah. Same like with deer and then full moons because there's light.
You're right.
In Wyoming, they've got antelope. And these suckers come out of nowhere. They just boing right in it. And I think that would be closer to a kangaroo because they bounce.
Yeah, if they bounce, it's,
It's like boing, boing, boing. They don't go in a straight line.
No.
It's like.
That is the weirdest. Weird. Yeah. They just, when they bounce but they are the size of a small car, the weight of a small car.
That's what I thought. They're really big.
Yeah, but the antelopes and stuff would be the same as well.
Oh, yeah, and deer as well. Yeah. Deer are not small. The deer in England are smaller than like black-tail and white-tailed deer in America. They're very big. They can weigh a couple 100 pounds. They're not like some of them are smaller, but like a big stag, and then there's elk, and those are huge.
They are very, very
I haven't
big.
run into seeing moose, but they are there. But
kangaroos are the size of a small car, the weight of a small car.
They're big.
Yeah, they got big feet.
I saw a guy, like a kangaroo grabbed a guy's dog in Australia. I saw this video, and the guy actually punched the kangaroo and got his dog back.
Yeah.
And I was like, it looked like a muscle man in a costume.
I
was like, holy shit.
They are. And they can be aggressive, obviously, because they stole a dog.
Right, yeah.
They can be aggressive. They can be incredibly docile, and they can be very aggressive.
Well, it sounds like people.
Yeah, basically. They're just big, giant rabbits, aren't they? That's what kangaroos are. They're big, giant rabbits.
I just had a visual of two kangaroos having a podcast talking about human beings. They can be a bit aggressive, mate. Well, some are quite docile. I met one on the road. I almost hit it, mate. It said sorry. You know.
I'm just shaking my head in yeah.
Oh, I think we're done.
I think we're done. I think we're done. I think it's breakfast time. I need a second coffee before we start with the Australian accents.
Oh, I'm terrible. I know I can't do one.
Oh, no, it sounds better than mine. I've got such a bastardized accent, let's face it. I've got a bit of English and various locations of England.
Right.
And Australian in my accent. And people, when I am in England, people either think that I'm really strongly Australian or somebody will say that I'm from New Zealand or South Africa.
I could see that.
Yeah, because it's so bastardized. And there's a twang of Ireland in there as well. So, yeah. Well, don't look at me for a pure Australian accent because it doesn't exist. And there's different levels of Australian. So the ochre, which is the really strong one. And they say things like, she's a few kangaroos short in the top paddock. The top paddock meaning the head.
Top paddock. Yeah, there we go. Top paddock.
The top
not
paddock
the back
meaning
paddock.
The head, yes.
Yes, the back paddock would be the bottom.
The bottom. OnlyFans again. Can we just stop slipping into
all right.
Time
slipping into the bottom. All right.
It's time for another coffee for Matilda.
Right. All righty. And we'll talk to you next week.